to another Revit video. In this video, I will be teaching you guys how to go about placing rebar on a curved wall. Not a straight one, but a curved. So first of all, let me just quickly draw a wall here in Revit. We'll make it a structural wall. We'll make it generic. And then we'll use one of these options here. We'll do this one, start and end radius. Doesn't really matter. Well, that'll be our wall. Enter. We go to a 3D view, we should be able to see it. There it is. The reason we're not seeing it is because for some reason when I drew the wall, I drew it under the depth option. So it started from the level 1 and it went downward. So we can easily fix that. We can fix it from here actually. We can just click on from the 3D view, we can click on it and we'll change the settings here. So our base is still going to be first level, but instead of being -20, our constraint will be second level, and we won't have any offset. We'll make that 0. Apply, and immediately our base is level 1 and our top level is our restraining level. So if we go back to our level 1, we should be able to see our walls. And there we go. There's our walls. Now the next step, what I wanted to show you first is how not to go about placing rebar. So typically what you would do if this was a straight wall with no curvatures, what you basically would do in that situation, you would just draw a section cut just like this. You would double click like that, and typically you want to change your graphics to fine, just like that. And then the next thing you would want to do is first set your covers, and the cover would be your offset from the edge of the walls. So how far you want your rebar to be within the confines here. So we'll quickly do that as a review. We'll first click on, we want to do an edge. We click on that one first. We click on the edge, and this activates our covers, our offset cover. As you can see, there's only one there, so you can easily change that by going to the 3 dots here, clicking on it, and you can add additional offsets. So offset rebar will make this 1.5, and we'll add another one, and we'll make this one 3 inches, just like that. We'll click OK, and then we'll go back in here. We'll click on that side wall, activates the offset. We'll go to our drop down menu and we'll choose 1.5 inches since it's a wall, and then we'll choose 1.5 inches there, and then from the bottom we'll click the bottom and we'll change that to 1.5 inches offset, just like that. So now that the offsets are set up, then you would go about setting your rebar. So you would click on the rebar button. It's okay. It's okay. No, we don't want to add a tag. Basically, it's just a tag. Actually, it's saying we don't have any rebar in here. So let's go ahead and bring in some rebar quickly. So the way to go about doing that is you go to Insert, go to Load, and then you're gonna go to where you have your Revit families, and you're gonna scroll down to the one that says framing, I believe. No, go back, not the framing one. There's one specifically for rebar. So it's the rebar, structural rebar shapes. Click on that one, and then click and hold and grab all of them and just bring them in there. It's fine. They don't take that much space in your software. It'll be quick. This will be quick. So now that they're in there, of course, the next step you would want to do is place rebar again. So we go back to structural, hit the rebar button. It's okay. And then what we want to do is we want to have it in the expand to host. Basically what it means is wherever we place rebar, it's going to expand ahead of us and in back of us. So it's going to do the whole host of that wall. So we want to always click on the current work plane, which is our section plane, and we'll just do a parallel to cover, for the rebar. We want to be able to see what options we have. So just press, you can either do the drop down menu here or just press the three dots here. And then we'll choose the individual horizontal rebar. And we'll drop one there. And we'll drop one there. Now, if we were to go to our 3D and see where it's at, you will see that I go to Find View. If I change this view, so right now it's on Hidden View, we'll change this to Wire. You can see what happens here. So the rebar, we did our cut section right here. So at this cut section, as you can see, the rebar is parallel to this cut. However, it doesn't continue the hose curvature. It just keeps on going straight. And I wanted to show you the wrong way to go about doing this. That way, first of all, it's a refresher from how to place rebar when you have a straight wall. And secondly, so that you don't go about placing it the same method on a curved wall. So I'm going to delete these two. And whenever you're dealing with a curvature wall, you're not going to need to do a cut. And most of the time when you place the rebar, you will want to be in a 3D view, just like this, when placing a rebar. So the way to go about placing rebar, there's two ways. The first way is I want to place the horizontal rebars. So I would go to my rebar button here, rebar, and then what I want to do next is I'm going to choose the align method. The align method works great when you're just placing, horizontal rebar, or you can do multiple rebars. So in this case, I just want to do horizontal rebar. So I'm going to select this one, and you always want to look at your lower left-hand corner for directions in case you forget. And then right here, it'll tell you, it says select a face to add to the host. So basically, you want to select the face that you want to use as for your rebar to be hosted, the face. So the direction you want your rebar to go, basically. So I want it to go vertical, just like that. I'll choose this face, and then I'll press my space bar to continue. And the next thing it's going to ask me is to select the edge for the path. So where do I want the path of this edge to go along? So this is the rebar will be hosted on this plane, but then it wants to know how far do you want it to go, like how do you want it to what's the path for it. So I want to choose this path, so I'm going to click that edge, and once you click that, Revit is very smart and will let you know that so far you've done the correct steps, and you'll get an option here for green to do the check mark. And once you do that, it places the rebar. And you might be asking yourselves, hey, how come there's only one rebar? The reason being is because if you click on your rebar, for our options, we have it at single. But we can always change this to a maximum number. We could do maximum number, but do offset of, let's do 12 inches. Just like that. And there you go, there's our rebar. I have my rebar on one side, but now I want to do my rebar on the other side. So we would do the same process again. So to go about it, you would go to rebar, form sketch is activated, you got the align activated. So now we want to select the plane where we want our rebar to be hosted. Now, last time we did the inner plane, we want to do the outer plane now. So that would be this plane right there. Click on it. Then the next step, once you're done selecting your plane, you click, you press your space bar, and then you select the path. And we're going to select this path, and then we're going to finalize it, just like that. And again, and then I'll press enter again, escape, And again, on this other side, I believe we only selected one rebar. Yeah, we did. So we'll just grab that rebar. We'll change it from single to maximum spacing, and we'll change that to 12 inches on center, just like that. Perfect. Now we have our rebar in there. Now that we have our rebar, of course, we want our spacing of a rebar to be spaced properly. So what you would do next is you would go back to your first level, just like that, and then from here you want to cut a section cut. So we'll do a section cut just like that. We'll do a section cut like that, and then we'll double click, and then we'll change this again to find, and there we can see our rebar. And right now, by default, the rebar is offset by an inch, because that's the offset covers for all rebar. But let's say we want to make it 1.5 inches away from from the edge of walls. So to do that, again, you would go to your covers. You would click on the edge, and then click on one of the edges, and then you would change this to 1.5 inches, which is already set actually at 1.5 inches. We'll make the outside. We'll click on the outside one, and we'll make that 1 inch. There we go. So one's 1 inch, other one's 1.5 inches. And let's say you want to do the offset from the bottom. Instead of being 1 inch, we'll select the edge. We'll make that 3 inches off the edge, just like that. And there you go. So now we have our offsets, and we have our rebar, just like that. Now, if you wanted to place horizontal rebar, you would do the horizontal rebar. But we don't need it, but I just want to show you how you would go about doing it. You could use the same method. So basically, what you would do is you would again select the rebar. You would select. We'll make this multiple, maximum number, maximum spacing, so we can see more once it's placed. We'll make it 12 inches on center. We'll use Freeform. We'll use a line. So we're going to choose the face of which we want to place our rebar. Like that. We'll choose that face. And then what we want to do is we want to choose space. We want to choose the span of it. So how far, we want to choose the spacing of it. So it's always going to be like horizontal. It's always going to be perpendicular when using this option. So we're going to choose this. So basically the rebar is going to be going from bottom to up. So we're going to choose this side, and then we're going to choose finalize. And it gave us an error. So it didn't like that, which is fine, because we do have another option, which I'm going to show you right now. So if we go to rebar, we go to the surface option. The surface option is another way to place rebar on either curved walls or walls that have funky curvatures or funky geometry. So with this one, always read the bottom left-hand corner and see what it tells you. It says to select a face to add to the host. So on this one, you want to select the face. You want to select the face of rotation. So this one you want to select the face of rotation. So it goes backwards on this one. So this one you want to select how you want the rebar to span. So we want it to span. We want it to span on this plane. So you click on that, and then your second step is you once you're done selecting, you're gonna select the space bar, tap it once, and then it's gonna ask you where the start and end of the rebar will be. So our start will be this face, then you press the space bar, and then you're gonna end it on this end. Select the end surface, select it, and once you do that, you'll get the green option to finalize it. And once you do, you might get something like this, which is not what we want. But this actually would be a great scenario if you have rebar. If you have rebar on your slab and it's going radial. So this would be your radial rebar, but we're not dealing with radial right now, so we'll delete that. Again, we'll do it quickly. Do what we did again. So we're gonna select again we're going to select rebar. We're gonna select the surface. Again, we're gonna select we're gonna select the host. We're gonna host our rebar here, like that. But we want the rebar to start there. Okay, once we select the rebar, we press the continue button, and then we want it to start there, and we want it to end there. And then we click to finalize. And again, we got this. So sometimes you're gonna get a lot of trial and error, which is fine, because basically what happened here is we chose our rebar, but then basically what we're saying is the span is going across like that. So this is the third time, and then after this, if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna re-record this video. But this should finally work. Again, you're gonna go to rebar, you're gonna go to freeform, you're gonna go to surface, you're gonna go to, okay, so we're going to select our rebar, and I believe the reason we weren't getting it correctly is because we were choosing the bottom face, and we were supposed to choose this face, not this face right here, like that. So it is the bottom face, so that we are getting correct. I know that for a fact. But then we want to confine it, so we want to select that face. Then we want to press the continue button, and then we want to confine our rebar not from this edge and to the other face, because that's the reason we were getting the rebar inside the wall, is because it's basically saying the rebar is going to come inward. We want to confine it within this face. I was totally mistaken. It's between this face, and then we press continue, and we want it to end it on the outer face, and then we'll click finalize, and there you go. There's your rebar. So like they always say, third time's a charm. But I'm glad we had to go through this trial and error, because the only way you're gonna get better at working in Revit is by trial and error. If you don't do trial and error, you're not gonna get better. That's just the way it is. It's kind of like it is in math. You can look at a word problem, a math problem, and you can try to figure out the theory just by reading it. But if you don't apply it, if you don't constantly apply it, then you're gonna forget it. So we'll go back to our section here, and there's our rebar. Now you might be asking yourselves, yeah, my rebar is there, but I don't want it to be on the same plane as my vertical rebar. So that's easy to change. All you have to do is you click on the rebar itself, and then you want to go up here where there's an option to edit constraints. And again, for this one we're gonna select -1/2. Enter. So the -1/2 actually moved it upward, so we don't want that. So we'll hit cancel. Again, we'll grab it. We'll hit the restraints, and we'll do this one instead. I believe this one will move it sideways. So like I said, it's trial and error. -1/2. Enter, and there you go. It did it. And then we go enter. And then for this one, we'll do the same thing. We'll we'll click on the rebar first, just like that, and then we'll click on the edit constraints. And I believe there's another one here. I believe this one will change it. So we'll make this -1/2, just like that. Enter. And there we go. We'll finalize it. And now we want to have multiple rebars. So what we'll do is we'll grab it just like that, and we'll do maximum spacing, and then we'll do like 4 inches on center. And there we go. We got another rebar here, because we only had it horizontal rebar. So we go to a 3D view. There's our rebar, our bottom rebar. And typically you want more rebar on the bottom for reinforcement. And there you go. And there you go. This is a video that hopefully showed you how to go about placing rebar on a curved wall. And I hope this video was helpful and at the same time entertaining, and at the same time, you know, makes you conscious that, you know, Revit is a software where you constantly have to practice to get better at. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.